Hey guys, welcome back to the channel for another flea market finds episode, and this is going to be stuff that I picked at the outdoor flea market on Easter Sunday morning. This was actually my first trip out to this flea market for the season. They had their opening day, but it rained pretty heavily, so I didn't end up going. I heard that there weren't too many dealers there. And then the following weekend it ended up snowing, so that was canceled altogether. So this was actually their first opening with good weather. So pretty good crowd there, and I didn't end up finding that much stuff, but we'll run through what I did find. So one of my regular guys that I buy from was there, and being that this was his first outing of the year, because he didn't go on the rainy day, he actually had, I guess this stuff probably he had been holding on to during the winter, and he had two totes with quite a few things in them that were interesting. And there was another guy there who beat me to one tote. He got a nice precision grinding vise and a couple other pieces grabbed. But I grabbed the stuff out of the tote that I got into, made a pile right here, and started out with just this pile right here for 50 bucks, which is consists of, this is a Starrett thread pitch gauge, number 472 thread pitch gauge. So these are nice because they have a whole lot of different sizes, all these different leaves in here. And so I got that, and then he had another one, and at first I thought this was an early Starrett box, but it's actually, it says right on, it says screw pitch gauge number 472 made in Japan. So it is not a Starrett, but they ripped off the Starrett part number for the thread pitch gauge. It is actually, it says right on it, screw pitch gauge, you know, for pitches 4 to 84, number 472, made in Japan. And then there's a weird kind of something else on there I can't quite make out. So I don't know if that's a name engraved on there, really nicely done, or if that's actually a company name. Then there's like a little logo right there next to my fingertip. I don't know if that's showing up on the camera or not. I can't see this LCD screen on the camera too well out here in the sun. Anyways, nice little screw pitch gauge. This is a collet block. There's a 5C collet block, and it's got the draw nut with it. So this is made in Japan also. Can't quite make out what the name of the company was on that, but it doesn't matter. So it's just basically a block that allows you to put whatever size 5C collet you want in there to hold a round piece in this, and then you can just slap this right in your vise easily. Handy thing to have. Sometimes you'll see these in a set where you'll get a hexagonal block and a and the square block together, and then sometimes there's even a quick closer that comes with these. This is a nice adjustable parallel set. It's a real rip-off of the Starrett 154. The case looks very Starrett-esque, but all of these parallels in here, it's missing the size B, are actually marked Japan. Oddly enough, that's a Starrett size D that somebody put in there. So the B and the D of the original set went missing. Somebody put a D in there, and I'll put a Starrett B in there just to make it a complete set size-wise. And then this SPI scale loop, 7-power scale loop, is interesting. So we've got the kind of loop that you see all the time. It's got this clear part right here to let the natural light in so you can see what you're doing. But what's neat about this is this one comes complete with a whole bunch of these little lenses you can stick in there. They're actually they don't do magnification, but they have the reticle lines on them, so you can do different measurements. You can do angle measurements and all kinds of different things with it. And this is probably the holder for the one that's in there now. I think Mitutoyo makes a version of this, and a couple other companies make these. And then the last item in the $50 deal was this interesting Tessa indicating micrometer. Tessa's a good brand name, Swiss made. And it's got the crummy problem with the foam there, but underneath all of this crud is this interesting Tessa 1 to 2 inch indicating micrometer. So it's almost like a comparator micrometer. One division is 0.001 inch. And the thing is, it seems to be working perfectly fine. It's got carbide faces on it. This is actually a pretty nice micrometer. We'll get this crummy foam out of here. Clean it up. There is a part number on the box, AJ21WE. Well, I looked on eBay, and I guess no surprise that I can't find one. The closest thing I could find is somebody is selling what appears to be this micrometer in the case without the indicator on it. So you can just see this part right here, and they're asking $199 for it. But you know, nothing has sold to indicate price, nothing recently, anyways. And that number on the side of the box, that's no bueno. Yeah, if there's a model number for this thing, I don't know what it is. Bet you this thing was pretty expensive when it was new. This was calibrated back in 2010. That's a spring chicken compared to some of the stuff. I think in the last video I found something that was calibrated when I was in high school. Yeah, so it was $50 for that lot, and then I spotted this stuff right here, and we called it 60 even, so I'm into these for 10 more, which is what this is. This is a micro finish sign bar, 1 inch wide, and this is actually in great shape, and this is made by Fisher Instruments, and I believe they're out of California. Yeah, Hawthorne, California. Fisher Machine Products, Hawthorne, California. Hardened and ground, 5 inch sign bar. And these little clamps, now I just grabbed all of them and didn't even look to see, but it looks like, all right, that one's got a little bit of spatter on it and a grind mark. So somebody was using these in welding for sure. That one's a little dinged up too, but they're genuine can't twist, which is good. That's another one. That's in pretty good shape. Another one. Yeah, so it looks like these are all can't twists, and the only one out of the whole bunch that has got an issue is this one here, and I'm looking at it now and realizing I don't think it's going to be too hard to fix that. Just get us some pliers and ask him to set this stuff aside for me after I paid him for it, just so I didn't have to carry it all around with me, because I was still walking around. Didn't have my backpack with me like I usually do. When I went back, I actually found these 3 items that I somehow had overlooked. A couple of these red screw jacks that I've gotten quite a few of these over the years. And this sweet little Starrett square. This is a little 4 inch square, but it definitely is a Starrett. So I got this for 20 bucks. So I figure I'm into the 2 jacks for 10 and this for 10. I won't get hurt on that. And I saw another guy I know. First time I saw him this year, but he didn't have too much for me. But he did have this little Huat drill index. And even though he had 10 bucks on it, he let me have it for 5. And this is one of these little tiny Huat drill indexes for the really tiny number drill sizes, and it's actually pretty loaded. So that's kind of a nice find. Even the second row has a few in it there, which are, you know, these are like the hypodermic needle sized. So I walked around a little more, and I was beginning to think that that was, you know, all I was going to end up buying was from 2 dealers that day, and that I wasn't going to get anything else other than these few machinist items. And then, as luck would have it, there was a guy who was unloading a bunch of stuff, and he had a big box just full of old knives and stuff. And I happened to reach into the box, and I spotted a holster and pulled it out, and it was a buck knife holster. And then I started digging around the box and quickly realized, hey, there's some decent knives in here. And I pulled out these 4, and this is just an empty holster, but it's a Schrade. And the reason why I grabbed it was because I thought that I had a nice Schrade knife that I don't have a holster for, and then when I got home I realized, no, I have a nice Schrade knife with the holster, with the genuine Schrade holster. It's a Japanese knife I don't have, so I'll probably just put that Japanese knife in this old Schrade holster. But then these other holsters, so this holster here is, I don't know what the holster is. It's actually, it says on the back, it says Kershaw, Kershaw, Lake Oswego, Oregon. So I guess that's probably who makes the holster. But what's in here is this nice Buck 110. You have to forgive me, I'm pausing because I'm trying to figure out what that is. But after the 110, there's a weird little symbol. So I'm not a knife guy, but I'm kind of getting into knives now. So you knife guys can probably tell me if this is anything great. I mean, some of these 110s, I guess, are pretty common. And then there's other ones that are much nicer. But I looked at the blade, looks like it's in great shape. It doesn't look like it's been, like, you know, sharpened by a fool. And it's got kind of a nice grain and color to the handle. Overall, it just seems like it's in pretty darn good shape. You know, this Kershaw Lake Oswego, apparently these are pretty fine knives too, and it's unfortunate that it's got all this damage here. It looks to me like maybe a mouse was chewing on this leather, because it turns out this holster, if it was in good condition, would be worth about 15 bucks just by itself. This is a genuine buck holster, but it's in really rough shape. And what's in it is a more traditional, I was about to say Buck 110, but no, actually, that's right. This is the Buck 112. So I've never seen a Buck 112. I mean, that doesn't mean anything. Like I said, I'm not really a knife guy, but when I was a kid, I had a Buck 110 that was given to me and then was stolen. But my Buck 110 looked just like this 112. Dark wood like this. Very straight, you know, looking. Apparently you can get really serious into collecting these and start to look for certain variations. Like, see how this has 3 rivets? I guess some of them have more rivets, and that variation might be more valuable. This is interesting to me that this has this one large rivet and then the 2 small ones. I don't know if that's typical or not. Again, this might not be that big of a deal. This one's been sharpened quite a bit more aggressively over the years by somebody. So not the greatest of shape. And this is a Schrade old timer case. I actually thought I got 3 buck cases, but I don't. I have 2 buck cases, a Schrade. You know, my mistake. This is a Schrade case also. I think I said this was a buck. So I got 2 Schrade cases. None of these are Schrade knives though, so that's the good news. This one might be the best of the bunch. I don't know. Not being a knife guy. That's kind of a cool one there. It's got kind of like a nickel plated finish on it. And a lighter, almost like a rosewood or something. I don't know. But this is a Buck 500 plus. Blade's in pretty decent shape on this one. Again, just a nice looking knife. Alright, time to call this video a wrap. Please hit the like button, and if you're not already subscribed, please consider subscribing. Till next time, take care.